everybody. Welcome back to the second hour. That's right, it's the second hour. Oh, come on, for goodness sake. You can do better than that. I know that you can. There we go. The second hour of Fire. Your MD now right here on the Genesis Communications Network. I really have to go out of my way to thank for everything that they do. We couldn't do this without the good folks at the Genesis Communications Network, who are picking up the standard of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition and helping us to promote our message frequently to whomever will listen to it, and it appears as if lots and lots of people are listening to it. We're going to go right now back to the phones to speak with Mary, giving a shout-out from Michigan. Thanks so much for calling, Mary. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thank you for taking my call. I'm calling about my cousin's son who was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 3 years old, and he was treated with chemotherapy only from ages 3 to 5.5. The child is now 17, soon to be 18, and even though they say he's smart, he cannot focus. He has short-term memory problems. He's got headaches. He's very emotional. They've put him on ADHD drugs such as Concerta, Prozac, Zyprexa, and Adderall, and he basically wants to die on those drugs. And this is what his parents are dealing with now. Can the longevity products help him? Can he be renutriented?
Yeah, okay, so yes, and you know, we got to get to the point here. You don't get leukemia for no reason. And by the way, for those of you in the listening audience, if you yourself or anybody else in your life has been diagnosed with leukemia, get a second and a third opinion, because it's easy to misdiagnose that. It's easy for the lab tech who's been working, 18 hours straight to look at the slide of the blood and look at it, and he sees there's some irregular white blood cells there, and he classifies it as leukemia when it's not really leukemia. So if you've been diagnosed with leukemia, get a second and a third opinion, and don't tell people that you're sending the blood samples to that you think it's leukemia, because if you do, then they'll agree with you. You got to do it in a blinded sense so that they have no idea what they're looking at, and then see, well, maybe you really do have leukemia, maybe you don't. Now, so that's one thing. Now, there are some types of childhood leukemia that are the only types of cancer, more or less, that are effectively treated with conventional medicine, and childhood leukemia is one of them. I don't think it's leukemia, but that's a story for a whole nother show. But in any event, he's 17 now, and he's in the weeds. If anybody, I don't care how old they are, is having trouble with mentation, they're having trouble concentrating, they have mood swings, they have anger outbursts, or they're like zombies walking around and they're just out of it. All of these things go directly to the heart of chronic low levels of nutrients in the body. The only reason that these things happen is because these kids are eating all of the wrong foods all of the time, and their brain and central nervous system in this case has completely run out of the stuff that it needs in order to make itself healthy. And you want to prove it for yourself? Here's what I want you to do. For 72 hours in a row, all I want you to eat is sugar. Just eat sugar. Get a bowl of sugar, powdered, just sugar, and eat it. Every time you get hungry, just eat sugar. That, of course, is going to make you very thirsty. Do that for 72 hours. I don't want you to eat anything else other than sugar for 72 hours. Just do spoonful after spoonful after spoonful of sugar, and see how that makes you feel. See what happens to your concentration. See what happens to your mentation. See what happens to your moods and your feelings, and then you'll know what these kids are like all of the time. Now, I'm not saying it's a function of sugar. I'm just having you do that as an experiment to see how food can affect your mood and your thought process. It is 100% related to it. And if you want to watch a fascinating video, do a Google search for Doris Rapp, R-A-P-P-M-D. You know, there's every once in a while there's a good MD in the world, and she, of course, is the exception that proves the rule. Doris Rapp was a groundbreaking clinician in the relationship between food allergies and mood. And she has videos of kids on her website before and after they ate something that they were allergic to. And after the kid ate something that they were allergic to, they turned into a little monster or a little zombie. And you won't believe your eyes when you watch these videos. There is an intimate relationship between food and mood. Hey, I just made that up, and I like it. Let's do it again. There is an intimate relationship between food and mood. Dr. Glidden's on a roll today. So what we do for these people is clean up their diet, number one. Number two, wean them off of the prescription meds as quickly as possible, because a leading side effect of antipsychotic and antidepressive medicines for teenagers is suicide. I mean, the drugs cause suicidal ideation. The child by themselves is not suicidal, but it's a side effect of the drugs, so you have to be very careful. You need to look to see what drugs they're taking, look them up online, go to a pharmacist, say, look, man, what are the side effects of these meds? Because my kid is struggling. And 9 times out of 10, the kid is struggling and wants to shoot himself or just doesn't want to live anymore, not because of a pre-existing condition, but as a side effect of the drug. But, of course, the medical profession, because they have their head up there, you-know-what, overlooks this completely. Oh, well, that's just life. You know, that's just collateral damage. That's just what happens when you prescribe drugs. And so, you know, go to a funeral home now and get out of my way. That's their attitude, which is why you need to fire them. But I digress. Well, that needs to happen first. You need to see if it is a known side effect of the meds that he's taking, feeling like he wants to kill himself or he just doesn't want to live anymore, number one. Number two, he needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods. You need to stop eating the 10 bad foods. Everyone in your family, everyone in your life needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods. Number three, whenever we're trying to support and promote the health of the human body in the face of a diagnosis, either presumptive or definitive, of mood disorder or attention deficit disorder or depression, we always look to blood sugar first. So my recommendation for 90 days for this young man would be, one, healthy blood sugar pack. One healthy blood sugar pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. One bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. One bottle of Smart FX. Smart FX per 50 pounds of body weight per month. One bottle of Smart FX per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and one bottle of De-Stress. D like David, stress. De-Stress, like detoxify. One bottle of De-Stress per 150 pounds of body weight per month. So give him the De-Stress, the Smart FX, a healthy blood sugar pack, clean up his diet, look to see if the prescription medicines he's on are the root cause of how he feels right now. And for goodness sake, just look at all the work I've just made you do. Look at all of the stuff you have to do. You would think that the medical professionals that you brought this person to would have done that before you, but no. They dropped the ball and you have to pick it up. And do they give you a refund? No. What do? They make you bend over and take it again every month when you give them your hard-earned money in the form of medical insurance. So God bless you, Mary, for calling on this child's behalf. What's better is to convince his parents to listen. You know, have them listen to the podcast, right? Have them listen to this podcast and have them give me a call also. But this is what I would do moving forward. And one of the great things about treating teenagers is once they do, in fact, clean their diet up, and once they do, in fact, start the supplement program, even in as short a time as 7 days, they see an improvement and they start to feel better. And then, you know, the rest is just history. And the proof, really, of the pudding is in the eating. So God bless you, Mary. Go out there and make a difference in your world the way that you're doing now. You, as it turns out, are the last best hope your community members have to live a long, healthy, and prosperous life. Thank you so much for the call. Moina is up next, calling all the way from Delaware. Sorry for the wait, Moina. You are live.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, my name's Derek.
Oh, Derek, I'm sorry. That was my bad. Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, Derek, you are next. Yeah, thanks so much, Derek. You're calling from Indianapolis?
Yeah, the sickle cell champion for longevity.
There you go, man. How's it going?
It's going excruciatingly wonderful.
Give me some good news, man. I'm sitting down.
Okay, well, the good news is people are starting to listen. I have a lady in Nigeria actually get it because she had to go through Houston because Nigeria can't order, but she's so excited. But I have a lady in Florida that is using it, and she is going crazy. She actually was in a crisis when the package arrived, and what happened was she got it, and within 24 hours, 48 hours, she got up out of her sick bed. She testified to me and said, this is incredible. So she's telling all her friends, and then a lady in Tennessee, we're getting like 3 blood transfusion every 3 weeks. Now she's doing wonderful. But my question is, I still have doubters at times, and so we have to answer their question because it's new to them because they haven't heard it, and so people get skeptical. What a mother has a young child, I don't know if it's a male or female, but it's a minor, and they get concerned about giving them something because they don't want to get in trouble, and they were concerned about iron overload. Well, I looked at the Tangerine. That's the only place I found iron, and it said 1 mg per serving.
Yeah, there's no worries at all about getting too much iron or too much of any nutritional supplement. You know, it always makes me laugh when people question me about, the efficacy of vitamins, or can I take too much, or they want to know everything there is to know about vitamins. They don't even know how to spell vitamin. They want to know everything there is to know about vitamins, but they'll take the dangerous prescription medicines without blinking an eyelash from the MD. There's no questions there. And this is the problem that we're up against, Derek. Stick around. We're up against the hard break, Derek. I want to continue our conversation. Hey. We're back. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, your friendly neighborhood naturopathic physician, talking to one of our favorite callers, Derek from Indianapolis, who is really leading the charge down there about sickle cell, helping people understand everything that they need to about how to support and promote the health of their blood in the face of a diagnosis like sickle cell anemia. You still with me, my man?
Oh, yeah, I'm still with you. And I have, because this is verifiable, I have 2 people that were getting blood transfusions, adults. And they took the product and they went to their doctor, and their doctor said, you don't need a blood transfusion. One girl said her blood went up, I don't know, 12,000, whatever.
Yeah.
And the other girl just, within a few days, like you said, it was just taking it probably 4 or 5 days, and the doctor looked at the blood and said, you don't need a transfusion. But what is it that's going on in the products? Because I'm going to let the people hear this, what we're talking about, the doubters as well as the believers that are using it. But what is it about this product that just gets in your blood? Because I'm crisis free from September to now, and the temperature went from 65, it's going down to freezing within 24, 48 hours, and I'm fine.
And normally you wouldn't have been, right?
Normally I would have been like kissing the pillow in the ER as well as my room.
Yeah, that's a big trigger. The cold weather is a big trigger for people with sickle cell.
Right.
Yeah. So look, we don't need to micromanage our understanding of how this works. We could, if I had a chalkboard in front of me, I could draw a big, giant biochemical pathway that would confuse the heck out of you and everybody else that didn't have a scientific degree, and what the heck good is that? What this all boils down to, Derek, and what nobody wants to believe, is the fundamental foundation belief that healing is easy, that your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. For goodness sake, your body is so smart. It grew itself all by itself from a single-celled organism into the magnificent manifestation of you. Now, our supposition in the naturopathic community is, holy smokes, if the body was smart enough to grow itself all by itself, it's probably smart enough to know how to fix itself. And there are millions, no exaggeration, millions of metabolic processes that are happening right now in your body outside of your conscious control. Cells are dividing and splitting up and doing their job. DNA is churning out proteins. Things are going on inside of your body right now. Your heartbeat, for instance, your breathing, outside of your conscious control. For goodness sake, most things that happen in the body happen outside of your conscious control, and they are directed by the inherent God-given, soul-induced intelligence presiding in the human body. This is the fundamental difference between the holistic methodology and the MD methodology. Holistic doctors are trained to believe that the body is endowed with a God-given presence. It's your soul. It is the existence and the presence of the soul. Whatever it was that existed before you were born, and whatever it is which will persist after this body dies, that very thing which brings light to the eyes of the living, the soul, for lack of a better word, is the thing that orchestrates everything that happens inside of your body. So the short answer to your question is the longevity products providing the body with 100% of the raw materials that the body needs to fix itself give your soul the raw materials that it needs to maintain the health of your body. You know, it's really no different than giving a little flower fertilizer and water and sunlight. Well, how does the flower grow? I don't know how the flower grows. I don't really care. The flower knows how to grow. All it needs is the right stuff. Your body knows how to have healthy blood. All it needs is the right stuff, and that's what we do. And this is the biggest disconnect that we have with, people have been socialized for 100 years to trust that their medical doctor knows what's best for them. But in point of fact, their medical doctor only knows what their medical doctor has been trained in. And what their medical doctor has been trained in is just one small piece of the medical pie. But because it's concerned with drugs and surgery, and because the pharmaceutical companies own the world, what we believe is it's drugs and surgery can all the only things that can fix us. And this is where the disconnect comes from, and this is where our work begins, dragging people into the light of medical nutrition. And I got to tell you something, Derek, man, if anybody can do that, nobody can do it better than you. Keep up the good work. I'm very proud of what you're doing. So, if I'm trying to make bread, gluten-free bread, of course, and, I forget to put the yeast in the bread, the dough is not going to rise, and if I put that dough in the oven, I'm going to get this hard stuff, that's just this, it hasn't risen at all. It's not fluffy like you expect a loaf of bread to be. It's this hard stuff, right? Condensed. Well, if I put the yeast in the bread rises, and it's a nice little loaf of bread, and hey, everybody's happy. Well, it's the same way with your blood, or with any other part of your body. There's certain things that your red blood cells need in order to be just right. When they don't, and they're nutrients, essential nutrients, selenium especially. When your blood cells don't have those nutrients, they're not right. And one of the things that happen is they get sickle cell. Another metaphor would be if you have, you don't put air in your tires, the tire's flat on the bottom, right? You put air in the tires, it's nice and round all the way around. Well, it needed air. Well, your red blood cells, your bones, your joints, your heart, your ligaments, your tendons, your brain, every single solitary part of your body needs stuff in order to be as healthy as God intended them to be, and that's all that we do. We give the body the raw materials it needs to make itself healthy. We get out of the way and let the body go to work. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to give Derek from Indiana, a round of applause. He is doing such a good job with his longevity business. And we're going to go right to the phones now. Tony from Montana is calling with a question about something. Hey, Tony, did I see you at the lecture we just gave last week?
No, you did not. Were you in Montana?
For goodness sake, yeah. We were in Kalispell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were in Kalispell. We were in Missoula. We were in Helena. And we ended up in Bozeman just last week.
Oh my gosh! Actually, last week it was part of my 7 years of research. I finally came across the longevity products, and 7 years of going to doctors and being told that I'm crazy, that nothing's wrong. And recently, I just went to finally was referred over to a rheumatologist because I had an ANA test done and it was positive, and I had a TPO test done for the thyroid antibody. That's positive.
Yeah.
And for the past 7 years, I've had severe joint pain, bone pain, headaches, flu-like symptoms, and I'm 37 years old. I have 8 kids. I don't have time to be sick.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So basically, this will kind of get you going, but I went to the rheumatologist today. I wasn't going to go, but my husband said just go since you paid for the blood test. But anyway, he basically said I had some kind of autoimmune disorder going on, doesn't know what it is, and tried to give me something to take the pain away. And then after he told me that it was that I had to go to the eye doctor every 6 months because I could, have degenerative problems with my eyes.
Yeah, you know what that's like? Well, you know what that's like. I mean, that's like having a leak in your roof.
Right.
And hiring a roofer, the best roofer in town, right? He's got the best, most successful roofing business in town. He's the richest roofer in your county. He comes over to your house and he tells you that the reason that you have a leak in your roof is because there's a ghost in your attic, right?
Yeah.
And you believe him. Now, thank God that you didn't believe him. You have some type of autoimmune disease. What the heck is that? That's doctor talk for I have no idea what's going on, but I don't want to look stupid. Here, just take this for the pain, shut up, and go away, right?
Well, pretty much when I was questioning him, because he said unspecified connected tissue disease or disorder. And I said, well, then what does that mean? And the more I questioned him, the more agitated he got with me. And I finally just got quiet and let him do his little spiel, and I took his prescription and I shredded it when I got home. But, for 7 years they've been trying to just pop pills in my mouth and tell me I was depressed, and I'm like, I'm not taking something. I know something's wrong with me. So basically what I think I've narrowed it down to, because I saw a video with Dr. Wallach yesterday, and I do think I have a gluten intolerance. I've had eczema since I was 13 years old, joint pain since I was 13 years old.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm wanting is to figure out exactly what longevity products I can take, and I'll take as many as I need to heal myself. Because
how much all right, well, I am just the man for the job. You've called exactly the right place. So how much do you weigh?
I weigh 150 pounds. And that's the other thing. I go up and down on my weight constantly. I have 30 pounds up, 30 pounds down.
Yeah, okay. So one of the things that happens here that we need not overlook the obvious, right? You've had 8 kids. So
I've had 4 kids. I've had 4 kids. I adopted 4 and I had 4.
All right, so you have 4 kids. Now, when our supposition here is that the human body has a nutritional tank that needs to be filled to the brim every day. But you can't get all the nutrients that your body needs from eating the food. So most people's nutritional tank is less than half full every day. They're 50% empty. Now, when you have a child, guess what happens? The child robs half. And then you have another child, and then you have another child, and now you're running on fumes. And this is also one of the major reasons why women in today's world, not my mother's world or my grandmother's world, but today's world, have a very difficult time getting pregnant, why there's so much autism and so many birth defects. Because from our point of view, autism and 100% of birth defects are caused by nutrient deficiencies in the blood of the pregnant mother. So what the heck? You know, quite frankly, I'm not surprised that you've had chronic health issues given the fact that you've given birth to 4 children in today's society. It would have been different years ago because we ate different things. You know, my grandmother ate differently than we do now, okay? So, now, first of all, I've got about 7 minutes in this segment, and I want to talk about this because I don't want to overlook it.
I have a couple more things I want to throw in just so you know before you start talking.
Go ahead.
I had my gallbladder removed.
Ouch.
That was 2 years ago.
Ouch.
And I also had a full hysterectomy in 2008.
Yeah, well,
so
you must have you must have, I know what you have. You know what you have? You have very good medical insurance, don't you?
Not really. It's expensive. I have high deductible insurance. So that's just it.
They saw you coming. Look, they saw you coming, girl. Did you have gallstones? Is that why they took the gallbladder out?
I just was having severe abdominal pain for probably 8 years, and along with kidney stones. And when I went in the last bout that I was having these flare-ups or whatever was going on, they tested my gallbladder and said it was not functioning. So that's why they removed it.
Yeah, well, you know, they'll yank anything they can, right? They'll yank the tonsils, they'll yank the adenoids, they'll yank the gallbladder, they'll yank the appendix. For goodness sake, if we let the MDs just do whatever they want, we'd all have fake knees, we'd all have fake shoulders, we'd all have an artificial heart, right?
Right.
Yeah, all right, so look. So kidney stones are caused by chronic calcium deficiencies. That's what causes kidney stones.
Okay.
It's a chronic, undiagnosed deficiency in calcium. So, number one, I know that you have been bothered by a calcium deficiency. Thyroid dysfunction is caused by a lack of the nutrients selenium, copper, and iodine. Selenium, copper, and iodine. So, you need to be salting your food with either just table salt that has iodine in it or sea salt that has iodine in it. I don't really care which one you do, but you have to be getting the iodine, and the easiest way is from the salt. And I'll tell you the longevity supplements in a minute to take to give you the selenium and the copper. Now, medical doctors are of the belief that there is in fact such a thing as autoimmune diseases, and Dr. Wallach and myself take exception to this. Because what medical doctors do is, as I've talked about earlier on this show or on other episodes of the show, is they come late to the party, they look at the blood, and the person's in a world of hurt. There's all this stuff going on. There's inflammation, there's pain, there's trouble, there's stuff, there's active symptoms. They don't have any idea what's causing it. And looky there. There's a little antibody that we never saw before. So you've got a thyroid peroxidase antibody, or you have an anti-nuclear antibody. Whoever called those things, who knows? They just made those names up. They could have called it the Mickey Mouse antibody for anybody's business, right? I mean, they could have.
Yeah.
Okay, but there is a little discrete cellular, there is something there that you can touch and feel and weigh. There is something there. And if it's an antibody, well, it probably is an antibody, but they believe that it is the presence of the antibody which is causing the disease. We believe that the antibody is there as a result of the disease. And that what the antibody is trying to do is actually chew up and eliminate the inflamed tissue. And why was the inflamed tissue there in the first place? 99.9% of the time, it's because your body's run out of the nutrients that it needed to keep that part of your body healthy. No different, really, than if you were a pirate in the 1700s and weren't eating your limes or your lemons or your grapefruits or your oranges, and you got scurvy. Scurvy is a horrible, nasty disease. It's a horribly slow, painful, nasty death. And it's a simple vitamin C deficiency, right? So we don't believe it's any different with the thyroid condition or, autoimmune disease. If, in fact, there are antibodies present, the antibodies are present, we believe, because they are attempting to fix a chronic degenerative problem. And the antibody is not the cause of the disease, it's the result of the disease. So we're not disputing the fact that there is, in fact, an antibody there. We're disputing what the hell is going on in the first place. So now, just like with Derek, who was saying, well, how does this stuff really work as far as, sickle cell anemia goes? Well, what it does is it strengthens. It gives the red blood cells the nutrients necessary to have strong membranes. Now, if you want me to draw a biochemical pathway of how that happens, I could, but I don't really want to, and it's not necessary. Well, how is this going to work for you? Right? It's not necessary. How is this going to work for you? Well, how it works is simply, we counsel you to stop eating food that hurts the body. So you have to eliminate food. There's 10 foods that we have identified as potentially hazardous to human health. You just want to stop eating them, number one. Number two, and that, of course, includes gluten. So yeah, it makes you the smartest girl in class, right? Now, number two, you want to just give your body the raw materials that it needs to support and promote its general overall health, because I think it's not really the thyroid specifically that's a problem here, but it's this cumulative whole body lack of nutrition, and your body's been running on fumes for a long time, and it's starting now to cave in at its weakest points.
Right.
So, yeah, it makes sense, right? So what we would do then, you're 150 pounds?
Yes.
All right, so per month, it would be 1 1/2 healthy start packs. So the first month you buy 2 healthy start packs, and the second month you buy 1. All right, and the people in my office can tell you how to dose that. So it's 1 1/2 healthy start packs per month. 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per month. Plant-derived minerals, 3 bottles of selenium per month, 3 bottles of selenium per month, and 4 bottles of Z-radical. That's 4 Z-radical, 3 selenium, 1 plant-derived minerals per month, and 1 1/2 healthy start packs per month. Do that for 3 months. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. And give me a call back in 4 weeks. Tell me how you feel. And we're back for this, the last segment of today's show. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now. Now, Tony from Montana, if you're still listening, I forgot, because of the history of the kidney stones, it would be prudent for you to add 1 bottle of Cal Toddy to your order. 1 bottle of Cal Toddy to your order. And give my longevity folks a call, 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. They will tell you how to get this stuff at the wholesale price. They'll tell you how to take it. They'll hold your hand, walk you through the whole thing, because we are all in this together. And to get the list of the good food, bad food, to see the 10 bad foods I don't even want you to look at, let alone eat, that's free. Just log on to fireyourmdnow.com and sign up for my free newsletter. It's right there on the front page. And God bless you for finding us. Finally, it's funny how life works, isn't it? All right, we have time for one more phone call. David from Utah is calling with ringing in the ears. Hey, David, you are live.
Hi. Say, yeah, I heard you recommending to the other fellow glucogel.
Yeah.
But, I've had this ringing all my adult life, and it actually started with naval gunfire in Vietnam back in 1968.
Ouch.
And so I was wondering if this glucogel would help with this condition, and as old as it is.
Well, that's a great question, by the way. And before I knew Dr. Wallach, who's the founder of Longevity and has been my mentor for the last 5 years, I would have said, you're out of luck, man. And, it was too much of a stress at the time, and you're just going to have to live with it. But I got to tell you something, David, as God is my witness. Since I've been working with Dr. Wallach, the things that I've seen people recover from, they eclipse anything that I had previously been exposed to. So I have no idea anymore where the point of no return is. There is a point of no return. There is a point beyond which the body does not have the ability to fix itself. But I don't know where that is. Quite frankly, nobody does. Now, the good news here is that from our point of view, whether you have a chronic health condition or not, and quite frankly, everybody who's over 45 has a chronic health condition, you need to take the nutritional supplements because they are essential to your health. Your body needs them. It needs them to have good digestion and good sleep and good mood and good energy and good everything. It needs them. For you to be healthy, you need to live in houses and protect yourself from the elements. You need to eat food and drink water and breathe air, right? You need to put clothes on when you go outside. Well, there's one more thing that we need to do. We need to take the supplements in order to support and promote the body's ability to fix itself. Now, the root cause of this particular condition is stress, some type of stress to the acoustic nerve, which comes out of the brain and goes right to the inner ear, the eardrum. So we're going to provide a therapeutic that supports and promotes the health of the acoustic nerve. And part of that is the glucogel, because we pay attention to the anatomy here. And, the acoustic nerve pops out of the brain, goes through a little tunnel in the skull, and makes it to your eardrum. Now, it's entirely possible that it's the tunnel in the skull that's problematic, and that the nerve has been stressed itself by all of the high-velocity sound waves that it was exposed to in Vietnam. Thank you for your service, by the way. So I don't know if you can recover from it, but I think it's worth giving it a 3-month try, man. So I would give it a try. The recommendation, of course, would be 1 Healthy Start Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month and 1 capsule of glucogel per 10 pounds of body weight per day. I would also take 1 extra bottle of calcium. The Cal-Toddy is my favorite. The selenium, 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, and as much Z-Radical as you can afford. And if you want to have a nice little experiment, get a bottle of the CM cream, Charlie Michael cream, CM cream. Load up a Q-tip with the cream and gently insert the Q-tip into the ear canal of the ear that you hear the ringing, and swathe the ear canal with the CM cream. Wait 30 minutes and see if the ringing becomes reduced. If it does, then you have a strong chance of getting on the other side of this with medical nutrition. And you can use the CM cream as needed to knock down the ringing from the outside while you're waiting for the medical nutrition to work from the inside. Ladies and gentlemen,